Hello, we're continuing on in our series on Jeremiah. We're moving on to chapter 5. We'll come back to chapter 4 in a little bit. And we're going to start on the 20th verse, which goes like this. Declare this to the people of Jacob. Announce it in Judah. Listen, you foolish and senseless people who have eyes but don't see, and ears but don't hear. Shouldn't you fear me, declares the Lord, and tremble before me, the one who set the shoreline for the sea, an ancient boundary that it can't pass? Though its waves may rise and roar, they can't pass the limits I have set. And yet the people have stubborn and rebellious hearts. They turn and go their own way. They don't say in their hearts, let's fear the Lord our God, who provides rain in autumn and spring and who assures us of a harvest in its season. Your wrongdoing has turned these blessings away. Your sin has robbed you of good. Criminals are found among my people. They set traps to catch people, like hunters lying in wait. Like a cage full of birds, so their houses are full of loot. No wonder they are rich and powerful and have grown fat and sleek. To be sure, their evil deeds exceed all limits, and yet they prosper. They are indifferent to the plight of the orphan, reluctant to defend the rights of the poor. Shouldn't I punish such acts, declares the Lord? Shouldn't I repay that nation for its deeds? An awful, a terrible thing has happened in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, the priests rule at their sides, and my people love it this way. But what will you do when the end comes? This is a poem. Jeremiah's prophecies, like most of the prophecies in the Old Testament, come in the form of poetry. And so they use images, allegories, and metaphors to explain how we should understand God. Because really, isn't that how we understand God anyway? Through allegory, through metaphor, through images that describe how we experience God. And so Jeremiah here is calling Judah to account and is saying, people of God, you claim to know God, you claim to want to seek God, you claim to be looking for God everywhere, but really what you're doing is you're looking for God where you are. You're looking for God inside your own viewpoint, your own frame of reference. And so you don't see God. You don't hear God because what you're really looking for is a reflection of yourself. What you're really looking for is just you done over. You forget, Jeremiah says, that God is God and you are not. That you've forgotten that you are not the one who brings about the seasons. We can't do anything about the weather. And isn't that true that we forget often that God is God and we are not? Don't we forget often that we are not in charge of the weather? We're not in charge of illnesses or sicknesses or viruses that are out of control. We're not in charge of any of those things. And we forget that. We put ourselves in a place where we shouldn't be, and we kick God out of the place that is rightfully God's. Jeremiah says that our sin has robbed us of good. And what is sin really except for putting ourselves where God should be? What is sin except for saying that we know better than what God knows?